Hey guys, Stefan Fischer here from All Off Road. Thank you very much for joining me today. In today's video I will tell you what is my favorite GPS navigation app for 2022. If you are new to my channel, make sure you check out my previous navigation app videos where I look into every major navigation app available for iOS. You may remember that my last year's favorite navigation app was Explor Oz Traveller, and I'm sure some of you wondering why that has changed this year. So before we start, let me clarify a few things. Reliability and functionality can change after software updates, and over the past 12 months I simply had too many issues with Explor Oz Traveller, so let me give you a few examples of the issues I encountered with Explor Oz Traveller and managed to record. So just created a waypoint, trying to create a new one here at a different spot, won't let me, brings up the old waypoint. It worked fine, and all of a sudden the screen all went grey, and that is the end of it. So I updated all iPads, everything yesterday. Now I'm trying to load Explor Oz and only get a grey screen. I also last night tried to import a track log into Explor Oz, didn't work, bug in the system. While David, he is good, I mean he responds quickly and he will upload an update. It just doesn't help me much because I'm out of reception soon, and by the time that's released, so at the moment I can't import anything, I can't create easier route. Yeah, just frustrating. There's constantly bugs because it's a one or two man show. There is not enough bug testing, I reckon, and now if I rely on that app, it doesn't work. I mean, fortunately I use MemoryMaps for all now as my main app, but just not good. I'm trying to update the tracks and the track logs and it just hangs again. Again, it's all these little inconsistencies. Probably have to restart the app now. Another little but annoying thing is that after a search I often can't make that location pop-up window disappear. I click on the map, I click on that window, it just doesn't go. I have to click sometimes 10 times for it to finally go. I often like to manage my track logs and so on from the web app. However, the export there does not seem to work, which makes it quite difficult. Here's an issue with the web app. For example, I would like to see one of my tracks here. Then I'm now here, I see the tracks, okay. But now I want to go back to the map. This doesn't work. If I go to the map, it comes up with your recent browsing history. So there is no way for me to actually now continue on where this track log is. Again, just one of the many inconsistencies and bugs which really plague Explor Oz Traveller. There's also some basic functionality missing. For instance, importing a GPX file from an iPad without the cumbersome web app, or an easy way to create a route via waypoints. But to clarify, I have not stopped using Explor Oz Traveller. However, I use it more as a reference now because I still like the maps and the points of interests, but it is not my main navigation app. And if you're in the market for only one single app, I certainly would not recommend it as your main navigation app. In this short segment, I focused on what changed since my detailed review from a bit over a year ago. Explor Oz also has many good features, which I explained in detail in the older review, and I encourage you to watch it if you are interested in the app. So let's get into what is actually my #1 navigation app of 2022. Well, I have circled 360 degrees and actually went back to the latest version of the navigation app I use the longest. In 2012 I purchased my first GPS navigation app, and that was the HEMA 4x4 app. However, this app was not developed by HEMA, but it was actually MemoryMaps which licensed it to HEMA. The old HEMA 4x4 app or the MemoryMap app is actually the app I have been always using over all these years. So when MemoryMap asked me early this year whether I would be interested consulting to them and help them with the latest new version of MemoryMaps for all, I definitely jumped on that because I really loved the idea to have a major impact on a navigation app and at least in parts have the functionality I wish in a navigation app. So as a disclaimer, I have received money from MemoryMap as a consultant to analyze, improve and suggest new features for the new application. However, MemoryMap has no influence over any of this content or this video and has never paid me to provide any content or have a certain outcome. So everything I explain in this video are my personal opinions and my experience with the app, but given that I have been instrumental in some of the features and development, I obviously do like the app. So let's get into it. MemoryMaps for all itself is actually free, which is a pretty good deal from the get-go. However, unless you already have all the maps yourself, to make MemoryMaps for all really work for you, I think you should purchase it with the HEMA 4-wheel drive map pack. I asked MemoryMaps whether there's any way to give my subscribers a discount, and I post a link in the description where you can purchase the HEMA 4-wheel drive map pack with the 10% discount. I also will receive a little kickback if you use that link. Which device should I buy? I prefer Apple as I'm invested in the Apple ecosystem. But in the end, most newer high-end tablets will do. I recommend at least 128GB of RAM, which Apple unfortunately ditched in their lineup. You can only purchase the inadequate 64GB or jump up to the 256GB, which will give you ample space. The second thing to look out for is that the tablet has GPS functionality, which usually every tablet with cellular functionality has. Please do not purchase a Wi-Fi only iPad as it won't have a GPS. To give you an idea, my MemoryMaps for all maps take up nearly 40GB alone. And of course I have a few more mapping applications which also have downloadable maps. So to get started, go to your App Store and download the free MemoryMaps for all application. I use Apple iOS, however it is also available for Windows and for Android. After you've done that, go to the MemoryMap website and purchase the HEMA 4-wheel drive map pack if you like. You can use the link in my description to get a 10% discount. Unlike Explor Oz Traveller, MemoryMaps for all is not subscription based and I still use my map licenses I bought many years ago. After you created your MemoryMaps account and purchased the license under that account, go to your app and log in with the same credentials in MemoryMaps for all on your mobile device. MemoryMaps for all is for offline navigation, so you do not need mobile reception or the internet as long as you downloaded all maps beforehand. On the bottom left corner of the app you see the little map icon and that brings you into your map list. If you then go to My Online Maps and everywhere, it will show you all the maps you have purchased. Click on the HEMA 4-wheel drive map pack and because it is a package, it will download all HEMA 4-wheel drive maps onto your device for offline use. Let me quickly explain the icons you may see in the map screen. I'm going here to Maps on Device and Everywhere because otherwise I would only see the maps for the area which is displayed on the screen. For instance, you can see that I have the 25K New South Wales topo maps on my device. They are a separate purchase, but I have not downloaded them yet for offline use, indicated by the cloud icon. The HEMA Fraser Island maps have no such cloud icon, which indicates that they are downloaded to the device for offline use. If you see that little lock icon, it means the license is not yet activated for this map. You can always check the status of the map by clicking on the information icon to the right. You also can partially download maps via routes if you don't have space on your device, however, not something I recommend or really have ever done. In my book, plans can change, weather conditions can force you to take different routes, so I always like to have all maps downloaded and would never go with a chunk or tile download. Let me give you a quick overview over the controls. Bottom left we have anything to do with maps. Top left we have all sorts of settings including layouts. Top right we have everything to do with overlays like track recording, tracks, routes, import, search and syncing. And on the bottom right we have the GPS fix, which shows you your current location on the map. The arrows in the middle to the left and right let you toggle between the different layouts. The custom buttons you can create when editing your layouts, but I will go into that in a different video. Luckily, MemoryMaps did not try to reinvent the wheel, and if you have used the old MemoryMaps, or for that matter most other navigation apps, you should have no issue understanding how the application works and to access and understand the basic functionality. How to search. I have created a shortcut button for search on one of my layouts. Otherwise, the search can be found in the top right-hand overlay menu. Make sure your first search is done with an active internet connection, as it will download the database once at the first search. Enter your search term. As an example, I search for the township of Bright in the Victorian High Country. Click on the result you like, and that's it. The Search and POI database in MemoryMaps for All is certainly one of the weak points. For instance, it does not find Old Andado beside one of the tracks I named that way. It does not find Wanna or any of the Wanna beach tracks in South Australia. So, if you plan using MemoryMaps for All as your only navigation app, I would recommend using it together with something like WikiCamps, which has an extensive POI and campsite database. To record a track log is pretty straightforward. I have set up recording buttons on nearly each of my layouts. However, if you haven't done that yet, just go to the Overlays menu on the top right-hand corner and select Record Track or Stop Recording to stop the recording. To then see or edit the track, again go to Overlays, List Overlays, and there you see the track with the date and time. If you click on any of the tracks, you can change the name, the appearance, you can add notes, categories, and make all sort of changes. You can also determine whether it's visible on the map, whether it's locked, so it means you can't delete it, and if it's syncable. From there you can also share the track with other people or different applications. If you click on the 3 bars in the top right corner, you can also change the sort order. You can order alphanumeric by size, distance, creation date or modification date and reverse the whole. Two neat features I always use are the range rings and the velocity vector. I usually have the range rings set up in 5 rings with a 5 kilometer radius on one iPad and on the second iPad with a 1 kilometer radius. This enables me to see roughly how far I am from the next turnoff or destination. The velocity vector arrow I have set up to 5 minutes and it shows you the direction you are traveling and how far you will get at the current speed in 5 minutes. However, one of the neat features of the new MemoryMaps for All is that I can swap between maps. Look at this now. This is Flinders main map. Now I can go to a completely different map and I can all customize that. And even have a different map showing within the map. And I could have also a completely different location here. So it's really like having 2 or 3 apps all in one. So a really neat feature on MemoryMaps for All. Let me give you a very basic explanation how you can adjust the layout to your needs. First, I would recommend changing the appearance to dark mode, as this makes the overlays more visible. Next, you go to the top left settings menu and choose Edit Layout. Now you can click on any of the overlays and you see it's activated when you see that green arrow in the middle. From there you can change what it displays and you have many different options. Please consult the MemoryMaps manual as these would take too much time to all go through here. As an example, let me show you how to create a waypoint button, which allows you to easily drop a waypoint. Being in layout mode, press and hold on any empty space and you will see the context menu. Click Add Item and then you can select what you would like to display on this layer. In my case, I choose Add Waypoint. Resizing the buttons to the size you like is a little bit fiddly and takes a bit of time, but fortunately it's not something you have to do often. When you finish, just click Done on the left top corner. And now you see the Create Waypoint button and a single click on it will create a new waypoint which I then can adjust accordingly. This gives you the basic principle how to adjust the layouts, and now you can do that for any page and customize it to exactly your needs. After you've done that, you can also export and save your layouts and, for example, can share them with friends. The same way you can also load saved layouts, for example, which have been shared with you, or to use the same layout between multiple devices. And while we're speaking about overlays, you have the option to hide the overlays after a certain amount of time, and you find that option in the settings menu, or you can have it always show, and that is, to be honest, what I prefer now. As a matter of fact, that's an option I requested, which has been implemented fairly quickly. Otherwise, as soon as you touch the screen, the controls will show up, and then after X amount of seconds start to fade and give you a full screen. It just means you have to interact with the screen twice, once to make the menu appear and then the second click to action what you like to action. One of the great features of MemoryMaps always was that you could change to different scale maps by zooming in and out. In most cases, this is what you want. However, with the new different map layers and options that gives you, I found it helpful that you can disable this feature now, so that you always stay on the same map. Just go to Settings, Map Settings, and then tick Disable Scale by Zooming. MemoryMaps for All also has a PC and a Mac compatible companion app, which has exactly the same functionality as a tablet app. I use it frequently on my Mac and 32-inch monitor because it makes trip planning and researching very easy. I also have a copy on my laptop, which I carry with me when traveling. The actual download page is not that easy found, even if you search on Google. You need to go to the MemoryMaps for All manual, and there under installation and compatibility you can actually download the different apps. Android, Windows, Mac and even Linux. So let me quickly show you how easy it is to create a route in MemoryMaps for All. I have a shortcut button created here. If you don't have that, you just go to the top menu here and create on Add New Route. So now I just click on the first waypoint and then from there on just create waypoints the way I want to go. This is super simple and can be achieved very quickly. Once I'm finished, I click on Done and here is my new route. Now I can click on any of the waypoints. And if I do a right click here, because I'm currently on my Mac, then I can go on Edit Route and I can rename it. And I can change the appearance, notes, category and the usual stuff, show whether it's visible, invisible, lock it and make it syncable. I can also change all the waypoints if I wanted to. For instance, I can change a different icon here, make them all cars, you know, or whatever I feel like. Unfortunately, you can't customize the icons. That is definitely something I have suggested, but it hasn't been implemented yet. These definitely could be improved, and I have suggested that to MemoryMaps for All. Have a look how Gaia works, where it automatically then adjusts the route to that road where you're clicking on, and I think that would be a great added feature for MemoryMaps for All, and hopefully one day will come. Anyway, I think this demonstrates quite well how quickly you can create new routes on MemoryMaps for All. So, just to give you an example, have a look which one is easier to read, this map here or up here, the Explor Oz. That's why I like the HEMA, some of the HEMA older maps, the raster maps, because it's very easy to see where you are, the towns. Yeah, here you have to zoom much closer, but just not as easy to read as this. So that is my big scale overview map, which is MemoryMaps for All, and then Explor Oz are on the background. Let me quickly show you a few examples of Gaia Premium, Explor Oz and MemoryMaps for All with HEMA Map Pack for the Simpson Desert, and you can make up your mind which maps you prefer. In my opinion, vector maps are great if you zoom in for close-ups, but are less useful for larger scale overviews. No one has it right yet to show enough detail when zoomed out. Explor Oz Traveller comes closest regarding vector maps, but it's still not anywhere near, for instance, the HEMA Desert raster maps, especially in the Simpson Desert. I'm keen to hear what you think. Leave me in the comment sections which maps you prefer and why. Of course, it depends on the area which maps are better suited. So I have 20 different navigation apps and all sorts of maps. To give you a better idea, here is a comparison of the Dago area in the Victorian High Country. With MemoryMaps for All, the HEMA Map Pack and the Topo Maps, I have quite a few maps to choose from. Here we see the 25K Topo Maps, which are an extra purchase, but they are very detailed. Here are some other maps available with a HEMA Map Pack, so very good selection of available maps with MemoryMaps for All. This is now Gaia with the premium Topo Maps. They are also pretty good. However, you still can't download maps by state, and the download takes a very long time for Gaia. While the main roads are easy to recognize, all the smaller tracks merge into the background and are hard to read when you're actually driving. And this is why I still use Explor Oz Traveller for my secondary maps, because in detail view it just has a lot of tracks. Keep in mind, many of them are old and they are not necessarily still there, but I rather have something showing which was there than something not showing which is there. Overall, I feel that MemoryMaps for All with the HEMA Map Pack will be sufficient for most people. Another feature I really like is the ability to see speed, time, distance and altitude of any of your old track logs. This allows me in hindsight to see a lot of data of my drives. You click anywhere on the track and a pop-up will give you all details at that particular point and time in your drive. A great feature. Keep in mind, MemoryMaps for All is not a turn-by-turn navigation app, and to be honest, turn-by-turn navigation off-road in remote areas I don't think is a good thing. If I need turn-by-turn navigation, that is usually on tar, and then I use Google Maps. So let me give you my conclusion regarding MemoryMaps for All. Is it perfect? Very few apps are. But overall, it's an easy to use and reliable GPS application from a developer who has been in the market for many years and has a very good track record. It has good documentation and quite a few video tutorials. MemoryMaps for All has many advanced features for users who like to customize the software, but that does not interfere with the usability. The ability to have different layouts with different maps and locations in the same app is a game changer for my use. A big bonus is that the app is free and the HEMA Map Pack is not a subscription service, so value for money, it's tough to beat. What would I improve? I'm not the biggest fan of the pop-up window design for the preferences and features, and I hope these will be further fine-tuned. For instance, having a search on top of the overlay list and having resizable windows. I made quite a few suggestions how to overall improve the data management and track management, but they have not yet been implemented, though I stay hopeful because I think that can definitely be improved quite a bit. I would also like to see more maps available. For instance, HEMA purchased the rooftop maps, so maybe we can get them for MemoryMaps for all. HEMA charges a $99 subscription for the rooftop maps in their incredibly buggy HEMA 4x4 Explorer app. Given these maps are rarely ever updated, it's a crazy amount to ask. A one-off $99 price through MemoryMaps I would definitely consider though. Another great feature to see would be where when you create a route, the route automatically sticks to the road where the waypoint is placed on, similar to how Gaia does it. But again, overall, it is a very solid application and has been for this year my main used mapping application. In saying that, the old MemoryMaps has been always the most reliable and consistent app. However, the development cycles were very slow, but that seems to have changed now with the new MemoryMaps for all, and I really only can recommend it. So thanks a lot for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed that video and got some useful information out of it. If that is the case, please don't forget to share, like and subscribe. And if you can afford it, maybe head over to Patreon or buy me a coffee and support me in making these videos with the equivalent of a cup of coffee or two per month. This is a self-funded channel. I don't have any big sponsors. I don't have any fixed income beside what is coming in through YouTube. So any help from your end would be greatly appreciated. Thank you very much, and I hope to see you along the tracks.